Thank you for joining us today for the SuperConnected review for your presentations. We appreciate you applying and congratulations on your acceptance. We're so happy that you will be a part of this amazing day. My name is Heather Crosser and I am an educational technology facilitator for Poudre School Districts in Fort Collins. Sheila's joining us too.
Hi, my name is Sheila Bowman. I'm an instructional technologist at Weld RE4 School District in Windsor, and we are really excited to be collaborating with Poudre and Thompson school districts to put on the SuperConnected conference. And I'd also like to extend my congratulations to you for being chosen as a presenter. I think it's going to be a great day of learning for everyone, and hopefully you included. You'll learn from presenting, and you'll also learn from your colleagues when you get to attend other sessions.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, so the objective of our webinar today is just to review some helpful tips to ensure that your sessions are hands-on, engaging, and collaborative for your teachers. Everything, all of the information for this, actually go back to the other one first.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Great. So all of the information, I just wanted to point on our website. So all the information for the SuperConnected conference is on bit.ly/SuperConnected. So any of the information, if you need the address, there's the schedule on there. So you can kind of go on there and take a look at that. This will give you kind of the quick overview of the whole day and what's happening. As you go to that website, you will notice there is actually 3 events happening that day at Fossil Ridge. So we have our SuperConnected conference for our teachers, but we also have a hackathon happening as well as a design-a-thon for students and teachers that would like to join that. So information again for those websites. Awesome. Thanks, Sheila. So here is information for the hackathon. Students can register by clicking right there. And as you scroll down, you'll see there's information about the details on that. That is a 2-day event. It is Friday and then Saturday as well. We encourage students to come to both of those, though they don't have to come and stay the whole time. More information can be given if you just kind of reach out. There's information on where to reach out for if you have some more questions about that. We'd love for you to promote these to your students and your schools as well, as we don't have high registration numbers at this time, so we were hoping to get registration for the hackathon as well as our design-a-thon. And so basically we're going to be looking at health and wellness as our overall themes, and then students will be designing either apps or different projects within those. So it's a pretty neat thing happening. It's you as well as your participants will be able to go during the lunchtime and during the breaks to go and see this in action as well. So we wanted to kind of create this great, awesome, collaborative day. So yeah, great, Sheila. So she's showing you there. Now we have updated the schedule. So on our website, you can see the schedule of all the different classes that will be. So if you happen to be presenting, say, in the morning, we'd love for you to stick around and take a class in the afternoon or vice versa. If you are here for the afternoon, please plan to come in the morning so that you can attend it as a participant as well as a presenter, or more of a facilitator. All right, awesome. So we'll go back to our presentation then, and we'll talk about really quick kind of what is a hands-on session. So as you know, you have all applied and been accepted for our hands-on session. So we just want to give you some quick reminders about what that might look like. Please know that even though I'm an educational technology facilitator, it was really great for me to hear these tips, and were good reminders for me as well. So it's some good stuff in here. Things that we do, but again, just things that might be good to just give you that quick reminder of. So our overall expectation for you is that your sessions for the participants will be very hands-on, that they will learn through active learning versus sit and get. We'd like you to keep in mind the way that the human brain works and the best ways that it learns. So keep your as you design your session, I apologize, keep in mind your audience and keep in mind including activities that will help keep them active and engaged. Just as we want you to promote student-facilitated learning in your classrooms, in all of our classrooms, we want you to model this for our teachers as they come to our SuperConnected conference. So let's look at tip number 1, challenging the learner. Challenging the learner. So kind of our big question here that we want to focus on is, what are the big questions that I can ask to help participants achieve the outcomes that I would like them to achieve? So kind of starting with that overall big picture. So let's think about time, okay? So we're gonna, as we design our sessions, we're gonna think about that time. So we're gonna think about not putting so much into our sessions that we overwhelm our teachers. That's always a big complaint that we get if they have too much thrown at them and not enough time to apply it and to try it out. They just get frustrated and then they just drop it all. So think about that. Let's not overwhelm them, but put in just enough to kind of ignite them, give them ideas, and then keep them engaged. So we want them to have time to process what you're teaching them. Reflect on how they might use this in their classroom and what that might look like, and then time to use it, time to actually get in and use the activities or use the ideas that you're teaching them. Modeling good instructional practice. So what that kind of looks like is chunking your big question and ideas. So if you've been talking, say, for about 5 to 10 minutes, make sure that you're building in time to process and reflect. You're going to guide them to use their new learning, to try out their new ideas, and whenever possible, create opportunities for your colleagues to make choices about what and how they learn, so that they get the most out of your sessions that's very meaningful for them, for their needs, for their learning styles, and their individual situations. Many of our attendees come to our SuperConnected conference so that they have time and space to connect with other amazing educators. So as you're designing your session, please keep that in mind, and make sure that they're getting time to collaborate with each other, and that the learning that they need is happening so that we can honor their time and create experiences that will help ignite them and help change practices in their classrooms. Okay, next slide. There we go.
And to build on what Heather was talking about, the simplest way to, as you're planning your workshop and to construct it, is to think about it in units of 3. So since your workshop will be 105 minutes, or 1 hour and 45 minutes if you want to think about it that way, you can think about structuring, like starting with a 10-minute intro, getting to know who's in the audience and what their needs might be, followed by 3 35-minute segments. And when you break it up like that, it really makes it really doable and easy to manage. You can also, and then don't forget to add a conclusion in there and a time to make those connections to others, and just what Heather was talking about earlier. So when we talk about the triad, the 3 things in the triad are explain, exercise, and debrief. So Heather touched on this a bit, but I want to walk through these really quickly. So the very beginning should be explaining. So show them, this is the part where you're going to show them and demonstrate the tool or strategy that you'll be highlighting. It's the whole reason they came to your workshop, because they wanted to learn something new. So this is the time where you'll actually be showing them that. Then the second piece of that triad is exercise. So think of it as having everyone actually try out that thing that you are demonstrating. So, and you'll be a support during this time. You'll be wandering around and helping connect people to work together, or answering questions that they might have, or helping them figure out how to connect this to their content that they teach. And then the third would be just that important element of debriefing and going through and leading a discussion where maybe you'll ask questions like, so where did you get stuck? Or what parts were fun or hard or frustrating? And maybe you'll ask people to share what they learned and how they connected it. And maybe your session gave them a nugget of what they realized that they want to continue learning. So, and then another tip is to, when you pull it all together, consider showing the people in your session and consider showing their work instead of work that you've done. So if they've created something during that exercise time, consider pulling that up onto the screen and helping that be an inspiration and to others, and invite them to be able to walk through it with the audience. So again, that takes away from you being the sage on the stage, but more of that collaboration. And what we're really going for in this conference, and that is to be super connected. The one thing you might want to think about is maybe you've got 2 or 3 things that you want to put forward during your workshop. So maybe think about your triads being different lengths of time. So maybe you'll just, maybe you'll want to cut those down, but just make sure you do this process, explain, exercise, debrief, and then introduce a second tool and explain, exercise, debrief. And you can maybe even get up upwards of 3 different tools or strategies you want to focus on. But just make sure you're walking them through with these 3 important elements. Tip number 3, so remember who the focus is. Consider that your attendees will be colleagues of yours. They might be people from the business community that have come to join us, but know that they are all there as students, and they're coming to learn from you and from other students as much as they can. So, but when they walk into your room, just like if you've ever been to a conference, you might walk in as a total stranger and not know anyone in the room. So you as the facilitator are that social link for them. So remember to be friendly and welcoming and conversational as they walk in. And ask, and don't forget to help make those connections. So maybe somebody's really struggling during that exercise time. Make sure you make a connection for that person to maybe sit by somebody that seems to really be getting it, and they can build that bond and help each other through. And then just do everything possible to make them feel comfortable and to get feedback from each other, not just from you. And this just happens naturally when you're working on those exercises. It's an easy mistake, as Heather said at the beginning, to make everything centered around you. And that works for television or for the old lecture hall like we used to sit in college, or maybe we still do. But that's kind of going to be considered a failure when you think about a workshop model. Facilitation is really the name of the game, and it's your job to create that comfortable environment and create an environment where people are willing to take risks. And so if you want there to be laughter, you've got to laugh. And if you want them to laugh at their mistakes, you've got to model that. You should be passionate so that they can be passionate. And so it's just really important that we know our role as a facilitator, that sometimes you'll be a game show host facilitating what's going on, and other times you're going to be quietly sitting back out of the way and helping people one-on-one. So just understanding that, and I think we all understand that as education is shifting and teachers are no longer just being the end-all be-all of all knowledge. We want to facilitate that learning and that critical thinking from the people in our workshop. And then tip number 4, we can't emphasize enough the importance of practicing and being prepared. The top complaints that I've ever had in any workshop I've ever given, every single time I get feedback, at least one person says, it was way too easy. And at least one person says it was way too hard and they're both in the same workshop. I get that every time I put out a feedback form after something that I've facilitated. And it's kind of hard to avoid that, except that we can really practice ahead of time and make sure that the exercise that we're giving people to work on guarantees a spectrum of experiences. Just like a good classroom teacher, you need to make sure you're differentiating the learning for the people that will come to your class. Not everyone at SuperConnected is going to be super techie. That's really not the center of the conference. It's a conference where risk-taking is celebrated and learning is celebrated. So make sure you take time when you're building your exercises to really think about what that can look like to different learners. So for example, I think a great way to go about this is asking some of your colleagues if they'd give you 30 minutes before SuperConnected and say, hey, I just want to run this exercise past you. They may not want to stay for your whole hour and 45-minute presentation after school, but you might be able to just run the exercise past them and see how they react and get their feedback, and then work that feedback back in. So do a dry run, and maybe do 2 or 3 dry runs. Practice on your kids at home, or practice on your family members, and just it doesn't hurt to get other people's feedback before you're in front of a whole group of teachers and colleagues that you aren't really familiar with their learning styles. So there's a lot of workshops and books and out there that will help you with strategies and with how to teach a variety of adult learners. So if you poke around, you'll find a book for your discipline, or Heather and I can send you to some resources for that, or we'd be happy to listen to your ideas and see if they would work. You just have to send us an email, and we'll set up a time to do a hangout with you, and you can run your ideas past us. We're here for you to help with that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So tip number 5.
Okay, so tag to me. So tip number 5 is just kind of a quick final review of thinking about these learning roadmaps, and thinking about as we build our session, and really creating an exercise that should be about acquiring a new skill, or at least having the experience that helps them acquire a new skill. So as you do this, we like to think about that backwards design, and you want to think about, what is it that I really hope, what is the outcome that I hope that my participants get from that, and then build the activities so that they enhance, engage, and interact with the participants, so that they walk away feeling like they have a very good idea about what the skill was that you're trying to teach them, how it can be applied to their classrooms, and then ideas for bringing it into there, as well as opportunities to have collaborated and connected. Because as Sheila said at the beginning, this is a great opportunity, and we have three school districts. We have Weld, Thompson, and Poudre School District working together this, as well as other teachers from other districts. So this is an awesome time to take it to connect with those teachers and connect for collaborative ideas even in the future. So be sure to include those type of things in your sessions. All right, so tip number 6 is we do live in a connected world, and so we have created a hashtag. So we have hashtag capital C, capital O, and then capital S, super, and then capital C for connected. So this is awesome. This is our Twitter hashtag. So we're going to encourage that you tweet about it, but also encourage your participants, even include activities where they might be able to reflect or share ideas through Twitter with the hashtag CO SuperConnected. And as a bonus to that, we will be doing some random prizes throughout the day by just kind of searching that hashtag and then pulling different prizes from there. So please encourage your participants and yourselves to do connect through social media and share these great learnings and great opportunities, because it is an awesome time for the 3 districts to come together. So we definitely want to promote it and share our learning.
Awesome. So the last thing we want to share with you is the SuperConnected presenter guide, and we will be sending this out in email, and you should have gotten an attachment with this by the time you're watching this webinar. So the presenter menu looks like this, and it's just how to run a great SuperConnected session. A lot of this is what we've talked about, but there's actually some other ideas within this document that might help guide you as you build your lesson. So, and there's resources linked within the document. So we just wanted to make sure you have that. And then there's also all types of presentation, and we'll share this with you so you can, these are all clickable links. to help with as you prepare your presentation. And here's 10 tips for conference presentations. So, and if you want it to be TED worthy, wow, that's my goal, to do a TED Talk someday. So if you really want it to be top notch, you can check out some of these different resources we've made available to you. But that's really all we have for you today. And we're just glad you joined us. And Heather, is there any?
Absolutely, yeah. So we will also embed that presentation on the website, so you guys will be able to get that, as well as email it to you. And again, yes, congrats. Thank you for applying, and congrats on being accepted. We really value all your ideas that you're going to bring to this. This is going to be an amazing event, and we really look forward to these very hands-on, engaging activities. And again, reach out to us if you have any questions, you want to run things by us. Like, we're here to help you make the best of your session for your participants. So I think that's it.
Awesome. Look forward to seeing you on November 5th.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks a lot.